Welcome back to the Medivators Tabletop test. Now we're doing some testing. So I've taken the bottom cover off already. Down there. Show the inside. Here's your drain pump. Here is your circulation and recirculation assembly. This is the alcohol assembly. So when you push alcohol, it runs through this tube into here and goes out to all the valves. These are your ASW valves. Air, solenoid, water, AWS, ASW, whatever. So those are 3 ways. And that's your, everything goes through there. The air goes through there, the alcohol goes through there, the solution goes through there, water goes through there. See this tubing going up top here, so all that stuff goes through the check valves. So everything is one way. This tube is coming from here, this assembly. This one comes in from the alcohol, and the other one is, what is going on here? Wait a minute. Well, that's part of our problem. Anyway, the other one goes to the air pump. These are your air pumps. Each pump handles 2 of the hookups. What in the world is going on with this thing? Alright, anyway, here's your solenoids for your water in. Sorry, we're getting blurry. And your drain out. That is the electrical connectors for the ASW or 3-way valves. These are your check valves. It's your bridge rectifier, because everything in here runs off DC. These are your oscillation pumps. If you have a MV2 or CER2, you have 2 of these. If you have an MV1 or CER1, you only have 1. The Optimus components are very different. This is the, can you see this? Well, so this is your drain assembly. This is where everything pushes out from the basin and all this stuff to go out to your drain. But up here, I'm trying to show it to you. If you can see the tubing right there, my finger is, that is the overflow tube. That's this hole right here. Here's your hookups inside the basin and your drain. And over here is your drain, and back there, you can see them. I have to pull this top off, you'll be able to see it better, but I should probably do those. Come on. That right there, and that's the underside of the hookup. That tube comes down and goes to the other side of this ASW valve. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll just take the cover off, fuck it. Let's see it. Here's another bridge for the electrical connections for the air pumps. Over here is your control display board. This is the clock that doesn't work and we all stopped using. I don't know why this is even hooked up. That's dumb. Disconnect that, we don't really care. Give a 2 fucks about that. Alright, whatever, I'll get that later. There's ribbon cable that anytime you take the basin off, be careful about putting back in where it pulls off the pins. See, the ribbon cable goes right there. Okay. And here's another little connector that goes off to your main board, and your main board is underneath here. Oh yeah, those 2. So your 2 oscillation pumps come in from the back ports. Those guys. Right here, they wrap around underneath the basin, which I'll show you when I pull that, and then they go up into the basin. See those 2 clips right there? Typically, I tear these off and just replace them with these are gasket clamps, since these are clearly not reusable. Moving the basin, there's 2 styles here. One style has little posts up here, as you'll see on this beatable one. See these? There's screws on top and there's a little white knob. See these? Here we go. Have these in each corner. So I gotta pull these screws out on the back and then unscrew these to take the basin off. The other style, you pull these screws off. And be careful, if you put in screws that are too long for this hinge, you will break the back of the basin. This basin is $600 from Supply 4GI by itself. So then you also have to remove these screws because these, you see, go right into the case. The other style These just have nuts in the back, you don't take them off. But you also have to remove both of these tubes from both these hookups, wherever you're going to remove them from. 1 and 2. Drain hose right here. And then as you're pulling it, you're going to have, there is a small red cable, so you can see it right back there. That goes to your float sensor and all these hookups. And these get really brittle and snap, so be careful. Alright, so let's take this off and I'll show you. So I pulled screws from my latches and our hinges. It's pretty gross. Next, I'm going to disconnect all the tubing I was talking about in here. So I pulled those, go. So there's your hookups. Disconnecting up here is easiest. There is the float switch cable I'm talking about. Down here, I cut off one. I cut off this next one. So as far as which one's to cut, if you cut this one, it's a pain in the ass, but a gasket on there and tighten it. If you put this one, you can have the screw facing out towards you, so it's easier to get in there to tighten or loosen that in the future. Hookups. So these get very brittle, so you want to be careful with those. Personally, I like a good heat gun to, once I cut the cable ties, I like a good heat gun to help pull those off so I don't break the hookups. You can replace them, just, you know, another cost, and it's, well, you got, what up, see, there goes that one. And just really annoying. All 7. And the cable, you're just gonna follow it up here and disconnect it. So on this, you put this 5-billet screws off, and there's your cover. Take that, and there's your main board. Okay, a lot of issues you have where functions are just running by themselves. It's usually a bad relay, and those just solder on, solder off. So that cable is this one right here. Pull that, and you can either pull the pins or pull the whole thing out. Because the other half of this again is here, which is a clock we don't use or care about. And that cable is out. There you go. And then you can pull these off, and then you can remove your whole basin. So my preferred method for removing these: cut the cable tie, do a little twist, so you break any kind of lock, and then I like to heat gun it. Just warm it up, not long, don't want to melt anything. Just want to heat it just enough so we get that off of there without breaking it. There we go. But, might need a little more heat. So be careful, you don't want to melt anything in here. Now that's out. You might still have some liquid in the lines. Don't worry about it, no big deal. All those are off. Let's take this guy here. And I mean, there's a tool for removing these. They're little PEX clamps. And there's things you can do, but ultimately the thing just twists back and forth, so you can use a pair of dikes to do that also. And here's your insides. So here's your 2 solenoids. There's your water inlet solenoid. There's better access to one of the oscillation pumps. The hidden check valve. If you're replacing other check valves, you should just replace that too. See all the tubing and everything. So you see water comes in, goes over here right to the basin, and also goes around the oscillation pump. And pull these 2 little bolts or screws out from down here. Helps to have a drill with an angled or 9-degree bit holder, and double exit bit. Or just from this side, you can disconnect the whole tube. You know, check this tubing. It all feels rubbery, which is nice. If it feels like stiff, then I suggest retubing. All right, get those needle nose. Let's go over here for the electrical connectors. Now once you cut the two cable ties that are here and back here, you can pull on the wires to see which one goes where, because it's, you know, one side is, you know, your positive, the other side your negative, or your hot and your neutral. These are all DC, so one side's your positive, one side's your negative. Doesn't really matter which is which as long as they are separated. And if you look down there on that bridge, that cluster, you'll see somewhere where, I guess you don't see it there. I'll show it to you up here. You can see where these are connected. See that little bridge right there? Make sure you're not plugged in, because this thing would all be live. Anyway, as you go down, after there's a break somewhere in there to separate the two sides for positive and negative. So, yank, yank. There's one. These longer than those, they do come in handy. There we go. And the other wire. And try to pull it all the way through if you're going to get the whole valve out. This is a real bitch. I mean, you can take the whole thing apart and pull it and leave the coil, but it's really a big pain in the ass. Electrical connections. Pull this up. I'm going to place to check those anyway, so we're going to pull those out too. Now, speaking of fragile connections, these are annoying as fuck. They're also siliconed and not glued in there. So be careful tugging on that. You don't want to break that. Now your whole valve out. There you go. This side that goes to the channel connector in the basin. Here's your alcohol and your air, and this is where your fluid is coming in. Should I take this thing apart? The pliers are huge. This is plastic. Just take this off with it. You just gotta crack it and then you can hand it. I'll look through that hole, make sure that's clear. This one is not. I'm going to talk about the filters and hard water as well. So hard. Its only purpose is to hold the coil on. It doesn't rattle, make noise. The nut by itself doesn't do anything. It's slowing it down. And got the stem not letting go. Quality channel locks. Absolutely. There we go. There's your coil and the spacer. Now this, I'm going to really get this off, get some good channel locks on there, just as I was in before. Twist that open. There's no key that I found. So what do we got here? You see there's a bunch of gunk. I don't see any corrosion from hard water, just gunk like hair and whatever, lint from whatever we're using to wipe things down and clean it. Alright, just blow shit out. Good air compressor. It's cleaned out more. I don't know if you could see in there before, but it's clear. The stem. Stem's nice and clear now too. Plunger. These are easier ones. Usually I've got corrosion, and then I'm trying to clean this so it doesn't have to go. Try to save money, you know. Pain in the ass. Valves. If you look at your smart products check valves, you see those arrows indicating which direction it should go in. So, unfortunately. So coming out. Now check them. If you got air compressor, which is nice, you can put your air gun in there. See if anything comes out. Really shouldn't, because now I'm going against. Typically you just put it in your mouth and blow through, but so those two are okay. So this one was just dirty. And that crap alone was enough to keep the plunger from moving and from anything getting through. So now this thing should work great. Stem we want to be tight. Definitely give that a twist back. There we go. Spacer. Coil. Remember, this nut just holds the coil in place. It doesn't do anything else, so do not retard tighten this thing. What does he say? Retard strong, retard tight, whatever. Back in the day. Check your threads out. You may need to or want to tape that. There's a little gasket here, but it does wear out. Now that valve should be okay. Now to do it for the other 6. So if you see, we got 5 down the bottom, the one we took out, plus 4, but then there's 2 down here on the back side that are a pain in the ass to get to. If you come over here, you see there's the holes, there's the screws, bolts holding in place. It's kind of a pain in the ass. This is an evaluation, so I'm going to pull open these solenoids too, but if you've seen a solenoid, you've seen a solenoid. These are just bigger than what the other one is. Just a giant coil, bigger coil than what was there. Damaged ribbon cable, it's okay. Alright, we're going to move through. Oscillation pump testing, you can test while the machine is running. So it's going to pull fluid up through this clear tubing. If you've got clear tubing, it helps so you can see what's going on in there. When it stops pulling, it's up pulling in LCG into the basin. Look at your line, and do you see the fluid level still in there? I can't focus, sorry. Or you see the fluid level dropping. If fluid level is dropping, you've got a bad seal in here. There is a way to fix that, but it's also better just to replace this thing. And the part numbers are very close to each other. The differences are the fittings, and you can move over the old fittings if you need. But you see angled on this side, straight on this side, and then over there we're angled on both sides. Okay. So that's it. That's how you take this thing apart.